Okay, so now we're going to focus on our breath. Now we're going to go through completely different breathing methods than you probably ever tried before in your life. All right? So throughout the practice, when we breathe, we're going to point our tongue in the direction that we breathe. Okay, so when you inhale, you're going to curl the tongue back and point the tongue towards the back of the throat. And we always want to inhale with our nose. And through most of the practice, we're going to inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. So let's go ahead and do the inhale. So we're going to curl the tongue back and inhale through the nose. And then when we hold the breath, you're going to point the tongue behind the front teeth. Okay? So again, to curl the tongue, it's going to be like that. So it's going to feel like a little bit weird, but keep the lips closed. Tongue curled back. Inhale through the nose. You should feel your chest expand a little bit more. It'll feel like you can get more air in when you do that inhale. And then you're going to take the tongue, keeping the lips closed. Imagine this is your front teeth. You're going to point the tongue at a 45 degrees right behind the front teeth. Right there. And then you're just going to hold it there. And what that's doing, that's connecting your small heaven meridian. So that is allowing, while you're holding it there, holding the breath, the chi is going to be flowing through the body. Okay? So inhale, curl the tongue back, tongue behind the front teeth, hold the breath, and then exhale. We're going to point the tongue forward and then exhale through the mouth. And we want to kind of close the mouth, not like we want to point the tongue forward. Imagine like you're blowing out a candle. It's going to be a slow exhale. See how your tongue points forward as you exhale? Okay. So again, curl the tongue back, inhale. Press the tongue behind the front teeth, hold the breath. And when you're holding the breath, focus on relaxing the body. And then we're going to tongue forward, exhale through the mouth. Okay, let's practice 3 of those breaths. Curl the tongue back, inhale. Press the tongue behind the front teeth. Relax the body as you hold the breath. And then tongue forward, exhale through the mouth. Go ahead and close your eyes, curl the tongue back, inhale through the nose. Press the tongue behind the front teeth. Relax the body as you hold the breath. Tongue forward, exhale through the mouth, just like you're blowing out a candle, slow exhale. One more, curl the tongue back, inhale. Hold the breath, tongue behind the front teeth. Relax. Exhale, tongue forward. And go ahead and slowly open the eyes. So that's going to be our method of breathing throughout the practice, okay? Always remember, point the tongue in the direction of your breath. So when you're inhaling, tongue faces in. When you're holding the breath, tongue is facing up for 45 degrees. And then when you're exhaling, tongue forward, you're directing the flow outward. So when you're pointing in, you're directing the flow of chi inward. When you're exhaling, you're directing the flow outward. So that's how we're going to breathe physically through the body. Now, I want you also to go into mental and emotional breathing. So a lot of these issues within the body, again, imagine like there's a traffic jam in the body. It's going to cause inflammation. Now, a lot of times, especially like with joint pains or different pains in the body, when we feel the pain, we'll tend to hold the breath. I don't want to feel that. That hurts. What that's actually going to do is cause more tension and more tightness in that point of the body, right? So where does our attention goes? Our attention. So whenever we have tension, let's just say it's in our right elbow here. We want to go into, if we're feeling pain or discomfort or tightness, you want to breathe into that part of the body. So again, no matter what part of the practice you're in, if you're holding a position in horse stance, or if you're moving in caterpillar and you feel pain in the shoulders, I want you to always breathe into that pain and relax it. So when we inhale, again, let's just focus on the right elbow. Close your eyes, see your right elbow, and then inhale, still pointing the tongue back, and imagine inhaling into the elbow. So you're directing the flow towards the elbow. Then you're going to hold the breath and then exhale and feel like you're exhaling from the elbow. So that's going to create stimulation to that point of tension in the body. And again, that traffic jam, that inflammation, we're going to help to start clear it out. And as we relax that point of the body that's going to be tense, you're going to start to relax the flow. Then it can flow. The tension will go. The inflammation will go. Putting out that flame, that candle flame. As we're exhaling, we're blowing out that flame. So that's how we're really going to go into breathing into tension, tightness, pain within the body. Exhale, let it go. Whenever you hold the breath, that's when problems are going to happen. That's when you're going to have too much tightness. The muscles of the body's going to be tense, and you can hurt something or tear something or rip something, or kind of you're creating that tension in the traffic jam. So we want to learn to breathe into tension within the body to help really going into relax. And not only in the physical practice, but also in the meditation. The meditation can be just as physically challenging as the physical practice. So sometimes when you're sitting for a long period of time in meditation, you may get some lower back pain. Now, same thing when we're sitting in meditation, inhale into that lower back. And you'll feel it expand. When we inhale, that creates a lifting presence in the body. So you'll feel it expand, allowing that inflammation and tightness to open up, creating space. And then on the exhale, clearing that space. Okay, so physically, we point the tongue in the direction of our breath. Emotionally and mentally, we want to breathe in to those tensions, those tightness. And also, like, even if it's a mental and emotional, if you're feeling a distraction, oh my God, you have an appointment in 2 hours, I'm constantly thinking about that appointment or that meeting. Inhale into that thought, inhale into that distraction. Allow yourself to feel whatever the fear is or whatever the stress is around that meeting. Breathe into it. Allow your body to feel that distraction, that mental distraction. And then on the exhale, let it go. Emotionally, same thing. Now, because this practice is going to be really focused on the fascial system within the body, that's where we store a lot of our emotions, a lot of our trauma. There's so much science coming out now. The issues are in the tissues. We're storing a lot of these emotional traumas that from a kid, from a childhood, from our relationships, they're stored within the body. And when we're going through the practice physically, you're going to have these emotions come up. And it's usually at a point where this hurts, I can't do this anymore, or I want to stop. You'll feel, and whenever you allow yourself to stay present there's an emotion that you're going to be working through. There's a trauma there stored that you're going to be working through. Now, the one thing I love about this practice, we don't have to identify the trauma. We don't have to identify the story. I really believe every time we repeat a story, it's just like a building. We're adding another layer. Now, the bigger the building, the more times we repeat a story, the harder it is to tear down that building, the harder it is to tear down that story. So be mindful of the stories that we tell ourselves, okay? And a lot of these things come from our past. How many times have you repeated that story? If it's your, I got back pain, or I got joint pain, or whatever these stories are, let's let go of the stories. Let's focus on going into what the pain is, create that relationship, and then we can let it go. I cannot give you something that I don't already have. So once we go into that feeling, then, only then, can we release it. Emotions. Now, we talked earlier about emotions and the big three emotions that are going to cause the biggest drain of your chi. Anger, excitement, and sex. And again, these are the big three that all these marketing firms are using to trigger your emotional response. Keep your power. This is where you are in charge of your power. And no one can outside of you control you emotionally. Okay? So ideally for this program, for these first 100 days, Learn to focus your emotion stability, centeredness, and fortitude. So I want you to, anytime you feel excitement, anger, or sexual thought or sexual energy, breathe into it, keep it within. Exhale, let it go. Stay centered. Now, this is going to be a challenge for you. 1,000 years ago, when this practice was created, or whenever it was taught in the monasteries in the mountains, it's very easy to distract yourself or distance yourself from sexual thoughts. Maybe it's all men or all of the same sex in the monastery. It's very easy to do that. Nowadays, we're bombarded by sexual advertising, people half naked on billboards. You scroll through your phone, it's going to be people half naked. They're triggering your sexual response. And you know how you can feel when you have a sexual thought, your body will react. What the mind sees, the body follows. Okay, so when you go into that emotional thought, anger, excitement, or sex, your body will also go through that experience, and literally it's like taking your cup of qi and pouring a little bit out. Now again, I know if you can go 100 days with no anger, no excitement, and no sex, your life will be changed forever. I also know this is extremely challenging for most people. And I'll be honest, I think I made it about 2 months when I was trying. Now, I think, again, this was easy 1,000 years ago. Nowadays, it's a little bit more challenging. But what I want you to do is just do your best. Focus on when you feel excitement coming in, breathe it in and stay centered. When you feel that anger, breathe it in, stay centered. When you feel that sexual thought or emotion, breathe it in, stay centered. Now, I promise you, one thing you're going to feel right after that breath, right after you, instead of release, you hold it in, you're going to feel empowered. You're going to feel your life force build. Now you're holding your cup. And every day for 100 days, every time, usually I drain my cup, I'm keeping it full. And I've had clients tell me, oh my God, I'm so turned on by everything in my life right now. Everything just feels good. You're going to go through feelings and emotions that you've never felt before. And again, do your best to keep bringing it in. Now, I'm not saying anger, excitement, and sex or bad thoughts never feel these emotions. No, I'm like, these are good things, but I want you to be in control of when you feel these emotions. I don't want some stranger to be able to trigger you and get you angry, and then you can't control your anger. I don't want some stranger to be influencing you and get you excited, taking your life force, draining your chi without you being like, oh no, I want to get it. No, they're just controlling your excitement. Same thing with sex. I don't want some stranger to put up, or some stranger walk by you and you're like, oh my God, I can't control myself. No, stay centered. You're in control. Now, when you want to release, you choose when you release these emotional energies. Fill your cup, hold it within. Again, do your best. So for the first 100 days, when you feel anger, excitement, or sexual energy, bring it, hold it, exhale, let it go. And then as we go into mental focus, shift the focus of your mind. The mind is masculine. It can only focus one thing at a time. So when you shift your focus, you're walking down the street, going to the bank, and some beautiful person walks by you and you're like, oh my God. Oh, no, it's in my first 100 days. Inhale, breathe in. I'm going to the bank. Then your mind will immediately switch. It's unable to do those two things at once. So you learn to control your thoughts, your mental focus, and then that allows your emotional stability to stay within.